أسعد الله مساءكم مشاهدينا الكرام من قناة MAA. نقدم لكم Spotlight. اليوم ستكون المقابلة باللغة الإنجليزية. My guest is the first elected Arab Muslim woman to be on Michigan Pharmacists Association Executive Board, MPA. She's not only a pharmacist, she's a caring and concerned one. A wife, a mother of 4 children, she climbed her way up and she shed a light on pharmaceutical issues and healthcare. She had surpassed her boundary as a typical pharmacist by promoting awareness about drug overdose and misuse of prescriptions. I would like to welcome pharmacist Ghada Abdallah. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. It's an honor.
Today we're going to talk about your life, about your success, and we're going to address major pharmaceutical issues. But first, can you tell us about your upbringing, please?
Yes, of course. So I was born in Dearborn, and I was raised in Dearborn. I graduated from Fortson High School, and then I attended Henry Ford Community College. And then after that, I went to Wayne State University with a scholarship for pharmacy school. And I graduated from pharmacy school in 2002. And I had the support of my family the whole time.
Okay. Well, you moved to Grosse Pointe and you opened up your own pharmacy. So as a business owner, I mean, how did you do that?
So after I graduated from pharmacy school, I was very involved in a lot of the organizations. But after I graduated, I worked for Walgreens, and then I worked for CVS for many years, and I became the manager there. And then I decided it was time for me to open my own pharmacy.
Sure.
I really loved being a pharmacist. It's the best field in the world, in my opinion. You get to help people, you educate people with something that's so important, their health and their medication. And so when I was ready, I asked, some of the people in my community, the people that I knew, how do I open a pharmacy? And my brother-in-law helped me a lot. And I selected a location that looked like it was going to be a good one. And I opened the pharmacy and I didn't look back.
Good. That's very good.
Thanks.
We are very proud of you, and I'm sure you're very proud of yourself. I mean, it's so thrilling to be on the board of MPA. So how long did you serve on the body?
So with the Michigan Pharmacists Association, I started getting involved. Actually, I got involved when I was a student still at Wayne State University. They have a student chapter, and I was heavily involved there, and it was a great experience. And then when I graduated from pharmacy school and I started working, my involvement became less and less as I had children, and I was working a lot of hours at CVS. But then when I opened my own store and I seen all the challenges, I realized it's so important to get back involved with the Michigan Pharmacists Association. So I called them up and I said, how do I get back in? And it was a great thing because they put me through a leadership program back then in 2009. And I did that for a year. And then I started to serve on committees. I was serving on the third-party committee, and I'm still serving on this committee even till now. And then there's also smaller chapters. The Michigan Pharmacists Association is actually the main association for the whole entire state. But then each county has its own branch. So then I got involved with Wayne County Pharmacists Association because that's where I live in Wayne County. And so I actually serve on the executive board for this one as well. And I've been with that board since 2011, I think. And so it starts small. You have to start small and learn everything as you go. And then eventually now I'm representing community pharmacy for the Michigan Pharmacists Association on the executive board. So I get to steer the activities of the MPA, we're going to call it MPA, for the next 3 years. Actually, I get to serve in this capacity, and it's really an honor and a privilege and a wonderful opportunity.
Again, we're very proud of you.
Yeah, thank you.
You mentioned the lack of participation on the board from Arabs. How so?
So there's only one other Arab, and that would be David Bach.
Okay.
And he's been very involved with the Michigan Pharmacists Association and the Board of Pharmacy, and he was even my professor at Wayne State as well. There isn't very much other Arabs getting involved with the Michigan Pharmacists Association, and that makes me a little sad because I'd like to see more of my community members, more of my cousins or colleagues that are Arab and Muslim to participate in this organization.
Absolutely.
Even though it is a voluntary thing, everything that you do with the Michigan Pharmacists Association, it's voluntary. But it does make an impact in the profession and in your community and in society all together, because we make initiatives with the Michigan Pharmacists Association that affect every single community. And if there's something that's bothering you, you can take it to the Michigan Pharmacists Association and then they'll address it. Whether through legislative, we can change the laws, we can raise awareness by doing public campaigns. There's so many things that we can do, but we have to get more involved and engaged in the community.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
You are also involved with the American Independent Pharmacy.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What are the benefits of, from buying medicine or prescription from privately owned pharmacy?
So the American Independent Pharmacy, it's a group of independent pharmacists. They all own their own pharmacy, and we work together to secure discounts on the medication. And the benefit to the people that come, like our customers and our patients, is that we have excellent pricing on the medication for those people. We can pass along our discounts, yes. Yeah. So it's a little bit cheaper. So if you go to CVS and you don't have insurance, and then you come to our pharmacies, then we're going to have much better pricing than what CVS would offer, because we can control the pricing. And the other thing is, because each pharmacy is owned by that pharmacist, they take their time to get to know the patient.
Personal care.
Yes, it's a very personalized.
Like
so we get to know all of your medications, all of your disease problems, and then we can address all of your problems and make sure you're taking your medication like you're supposed to, that you know how to use your inhalers, your insulin, you know when to take your medication, if you take it with food or without food. And there's so many issues, and that's what the independent pharmacist does.
So it's more like personal.
Very personal, very customized, and a lot of more education, in my opinion.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As we know, pharmacy is one of the biggest career fields for Arabs in Michigan.
Yes.
And we see a lot of individuals, they own their own pharmacies. But there is a problem now, recently, I think with the healthcare reform and reimbursement issues and fraud. Mm-hmm. So how do you deal with that? And did you personally find that as a challenge?
Absolutely. Even when I opened up my pharmacy to begin with, back in 2006, I opened my pharmacy, and that's when the economy started to go down. I realized opening your own pharmacy is very challenging, and dealing with the insurance companies and also with the changing laws. The laws are changing all the time, and so that's why I decided to get involved, because I wanted to have a say about what the laws are going to be. I don't want the law to be handed down to me. I want to be the one writing the laws and saying this is what is the best law for pharmacy. And at the same time, with the Affordable Care Act and Obamacare, it did give a lot more people insurance, but then at the same time, insurance companies are trying to protect themselves and limit their spending while making a profit at the same time, and that trickles down to pharmacies, and we have to accept lower reimbursements sometimes, or do different things like provide vaccines like flu shots and shingles vaccines, which pharmacists haven't been doing that traditionally. Actually, when I first opened my pharmacy, I did that right away. I wanted to make sure that my pharmacy was ahead of the curve by doing non-traditional things. And so I do these things, and I also make creams from scratch, like compounding. We do a lot of things like that are not traditional, but in order to stay competitive and to compete with the big CVS and Walgreens, which they do a great thing too, but what we do is much different.
Okay.
And so it's very important for that involvement, so that you can make those laws, change those laws, and stay competitive.
Sure.
Yeah.
So in your position, can you push to change laws in regard to healthcare?
Absolutely. So we'll talk about this maybe later, but we're going to push for a lot of new things in 2016 when I start. There's a lot of initiatives that I'd like to get going in the state of Michigan that are currently not in effect.
Okay. We have a problem, like a major problem here in this country, and not a lot of people are aware of, or they have like enough knowledge to maybe talk about it or to address it,
Yes.
which is the drug overdose and misuse of prescriptions.
Yes.
And in our community, we know, we have cultural issues. A lot of people try to hide their problems, and we always try to portray this beautiful image of our family. But bad things happen all the time. And no matter how much we try to protect our loved ones, there is major problem here that we have to address. So as a concerned pharmacist, how do you educate people, or how do you spread awareness about this subject?
So you're discussing the problem with prescription drug abuse and misuse.
Yes.
And so this is actually a big problem across the United States and in our community. I'm originally from Dearborn, and in our community it is something that's not discussed, but it is a big problem, and people try to hide it under the rug. But because of the fact that there has been such high numbers of people dying from prescription drug overdose, that the Center for Disease Control in Washington, D.C. declared this to be an epidemic. That means there's just so many people across the United States dying from an overdose of prescription medications. What happened was the DEA, which is the Drug Enforcement Agency, started to make some laws to change that and limit the number of pills that can go out. But what ended up happening was some people, instead of abusing their pills, now they're abusing heroin or other types of drugs. So the drug problem is very broad, very wide. But my goal is to educate pharmacists, doctors, nurses, and the community, which is the most important thing, which means the teachers, all the people in the mosques and the churches, the schools, all the community organizations need to know how to deal with this problem and come together and help those families that have someone in their family that has a drug problem. So that's my main goal for the next several years, is to just promote the awareness among all the members of our community about this problem and how to seek help if you do have a problem. And
it needs a lot of work and a lot of time, but
yes.
it can happen.
Absolutely. I'm very hopeful.
Positive, very positive about
absolutely,
that.
yes.
Yeah. If we have more people like you, it would be amazing. It
yeah.
should work.
Inshallah, thank you.
If you had to go back in time, would you choose a different profession?
Actually, at this point in my life, I would not choose anything else besides pharmacy, because I see that it's a great profession to get involved in, especially if you're very involved and you see all the different avenues that you can go. Like when I was a student and I graduated, I took the typical route, which is go work for a chain, CVS or Walgreens. That's where most pharmacists end up. But there are so many different other ways that I could have gone. I could have worked at a hospital. I could have worked in my own independent pharmacy. I could have worked at an insurance company. There's so many different ways I could go, and then I also have the flexibility of taking care of my family as well. So it's really a great profession. I would never change it, especially now. I'm doing so many amazing things that I just can't believe the things that I have the opportunity to do now, and I'm very happy to be doing them because it doesn't only benefit me. I'm looking at the benefit for the whole community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What are your strengths and weakness?
So, well, my strength and weaknesses, that's a tough question. But I think my biggest strength would probably be perseverance. And then if you want to say what's my weakness at the same time, stubbornness, because I'm always going to persevere. So if somebody's telling me, no, you can't do this, I'm going to say, yes, I can. And so if somebody says, if I'm in the pharmacy fighting for pharmacies and I'm fighting against insurance companies up at the state level, they're going to say, no, you can't do this. And I'm going to say, yes, we can.
Very persistent about
That's
that.
why I'm so persistent and I'm so stubborn. That could be a weakness too. So I'm just always going to fight for my profession. At the same time, I'm always going to fight to educate the people. When I first started talking about educating the community, my own personal community in Dearborn, people came and said, you're not going to get anywhere. But I think we are going to make great strides, and we're going to educate the community, and people are going to be more aware of the problem that's going on, especially in the drug problem.
That's great. What are your plans for 2016? I know you're working on many great things.
Yeah, so for 2016, Wayne County pharmacists and Oakland County pharmacists, we teamed together. So we came together behind a plan to make the antidote for prescription drug overdose available at any pharmacy without a prescription.
What does it do?
So this antidote, it's called naloxone, okay? And if, let's say, somebody accidentally or intentionally overdosed on a prescription medication, if somebody in the family has this antidote and they're home with this person, or wherever they're close to this person, they can give them a shot and this person will come back to life. And it reverses the effects of the drug. And the reason why we're doing this is to bring awareness to the problem, and so that this person who has a problem or their family member can seek help from the right places and get this person to treatment facilities, to a detox or a rehab facility.
So would it work right away? I mean,
yes,
what about
if
they find this person like a few hours later? Would the antidote work?
Well, it depends on how long after, and it's such a sensitive issue.
Yes.
So really, it's usually within, I really can't say exactly how long, because it depends on the number of pills they took or the type of dose of drugs that they did.
Yes, because sometimes it's too late. I mean, even if
could
you
be
give
too
them,
late. Yeah, it could be too late. But lots of times when somebody calls 911 because somebody just passed out or looks like they went to coma, nobody knows what happens. 911, when they come to your home and they're giving the shot, it's still within the same amount of time. And lots of times they do bring this person back.
Sure.
And so it does work, and I'm not sure how many minutes, but it does definitely work. But it's not going to solve all the problems, obviously. It's just going to be one very small step in the bigger problem that we have. And so by making this medication available to a mother or a sister of somebody or a brother of somebody who has a drug problem, then they're going to keep putting pressure on this person. Please seek help. Please go get help. You overdosed and we had to bring you back. Please go to the detox. And so this is really just one small step into educating the community and the person and motivating that individual to seek help and treatment.
Well, Ghada, Abdallah, I'm very pleased to have you here today, and I wish you the best of luck on your upcoming projects.
Thank you.
You have lots of energy and ideas, and best of luck.
Thank you so much, Hanan. It's really a pleasure to be here and an honor to be with you today here in the MEA.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
مشاهدينا الأعزاء، قدمنا لكم سبوت لايت. أتمنى لكم أمسية رائعة. تصبحون على خير.